There is a time to do things right when safety is an issue or when you have plenty of time and resources. Do it right. Do it right, do it once, they say. But then there's also a time to just do things. This week was one of those times. We needed a gate on our dog pen quick. It was Monday, and Friday we were going out of town to visit family, and I had to work the days in between. And besides the time crunch, I really didn't feel that great. And I didn't have any money to go buy posts or concrete or lumber. So, as I often do, I had to work with what I had. And I've gone through a lot of my collection of decent scrap wood recently too. So what I had wasn't much. A few 6-foot 2x4s, a pallet, a door that was not meant to be outside. Now, there's a lot to be said for doing good work that lasts. But what I found is that sometimes you just need to do work that functions. I don't always know what I'm gonna need long term, so I'll scrap something together to make it work for now. Then we can use it a while, see what works, what doesn't. There have been many things that we have built and rebuilt as needs have evolved and new needs have arisen. This needs to be over here, this needs to be bigger. We really didn't need this to be that big. If I had taken the time to build something nice to begin with, then I would be a lot more reluctant to take it apart and redo it, even if it would serve us better now. This dog pen was an example of that. We built it last year out of some piers from a neighbor who rebuilt their dock. They were still in good shape structurally, they just looked rough. So we built a 48 by 24 foot dog fence. And then our dogs never really stayed in it because they're usually just out in the backyard with us. So this summer we decided to divide it in half. Half for the dogs for when they need it, and the other half, permanent home for the chickens. The chickens have been split in a couple of small coops before now, so this was much better for them. Have way more room to scratch and forage. I've got a lot of the building of that film too, so it'll probably be a video before long. It also involved a lot of scrapping things together with what I had on hand. And all of this between the initial building of the pen, the coop remodel, and this gate, the only things that I bought were the fence wire and the screws. So this door, I said this isn't an outdoor door, but I didn't have time to build a proper gate. I'm sure I'll be rebuilding this before long, but it's gonna do the job we need it to for now. And besides, this door was actually less than free. We sold it in a yard sale months ago, and the people never came back to pick it up, and they didn't leave any way to get in touch with them. So it's just been sitting in my shed, taking up space since then. For the rest of the space to the side of the door, I really need a post and to build out some kind of real fence or spread more wire, but I don't have any of that. What I do have is a 6-foot pallet. Will it be the sturdiest fence around? Heck no. But it's keeping in 2 40-pound dogs, not a raging bear. It just needs to keep them from walking through or jumping over. This ideal of doing things right can be pretty alienating, I think. I don't think anyone is purposely trying to exclude others, but when you look up how-tos and you see all these tools and expensive materials, and they're doing a lot of things that you have no idea where to even begin on, it can be overwhelming. I've been there. I grew up watching my dad build things, and I still spend a lot of years feeling like I couldn't do this or that because I couldn't do it right. But you've got to start somewhere, and a few basic tools, some free scraps, and an intention to do it again in the future is a great place to start. The added benefit is that you get to see an idea in the real world, live with it for a while, and adjust as you see better ways, or move in other directions. I mean, that's what a prototype is, isn't it? So don't think of what you're piecing together as a hack job. Think of it as a prototype, a step towards better skills, better ideas, and more resources in the future. I think maybe this is more common to think this way in other creative fields. If you're making music, you make a demo. If you're painting, you do rough sketches. If you're writing, you do rough drafts. Filmmakers do test shots. So just extend that prototype mindset into every area of life you can. Building something is a creative outlet. Cooking is a creative outlet. Making YouTube videos is a creative outlet. Don't be afraid to make a bad version because it's all you can do right now. or just make one to try out a new idea. Anyway, this gate could have turned out a lot worse for being made in a couple of hours with literal trash. It'll keep the dogs contained this weekend while we're away, and honestly, people like to say stuff like this won't last, and I know it won't last forever, but I've been very surprised just how long some things have lasted that were supposed to have fallen apart in a couple of weeks. So go make a prototype. Don't be afraid to mess up. Thanks for coming by, and I'll see you soon.